morning, Western Slope. Happy Monday. I'm Dalen Brazelton. Let's talk about your weather. Folks, hope you had a great weekend. Here we are now officially into the second full week of 2026. And is it just me, or does it feel like we are clawing our way through the month of January? Well, this week's weather is definitely not going to be helping that case, as we're expecting very warm, very dry conditions, and it's going to be a whole lot of that this week, as you can expect it to remain nice. And well, in the middle of January, it's not quite what you would be expecting, but we are seeing some very clear conditions in the meantime. High pressure returning to the region. That's going to be the case for the next several days, as we're returning close to those 50s for today as we head into tomorrow and the midweek. That's expected to get beyond those 50s. No new precipitation really expected for either the higher elevations or down here in the Grand Valley. You can see that cloud coverage that we saw over the weekend on our satellite and radar continuing to push its way down to the south. A little bit more cloud coverage making its way up from the north, but high pressure is keeping things for a majority of the region nice and clear. We're expected to see this push all the way down to the Uncompahgre and then eventually out of our forecasting region. Meanwhile, the front range incredibly clear as well. Zooming into the Western Slope itself, within our forecasting range, we're seeing a couple spackles of snowfall in those higher elevations, kind of tracking alongside the monument down to the San Juans, and then Battlement Mesa just south of that, seeing that. But of course, you may notice the valley nice and clear, nice and dry, and that's what we're expecting here, folks. We're waking up right now to 22 degrees in Grand Junction, a little bit on the chillier side. Same goes with Glade Park as well as Nucla. Paonia a little warmer in those mid-20s, with Delta and Montrose both seeing those mid to upper teens. Gunnison's still hanging out in the negatives right now, and that's really the only region on the Western Slope that we're currently tracking that is seeing those negatives at this point in time. For that classroom forecast, that first bell's ringing to 21 degrees and sunny skies. We're expecting those sunshiny skies all day long. Folks, Grand Junction gets over 300 days of sunshine, and you can check today off on that list as well. After school activities, keeping that trend holding strong at 46 degrees, nearly doubling what we're seeing in the morning hours, but that's going to be roughly your high for the day, although we're expecting in some regions to get a little bit warmer than that. Grand Junction, as a majority though, seeing those mid-40s for the afternoon. Nice sunny skies all day long, and that starts right now with those clear conditions too. Not getting out of that freezing range though until about 10 a.m. So if you got a little bit earlier of a start to your day, definitely recommend grabbing that coat, because while things are going to start warming up, it's going to take a while today for it to feel like that. For that Cozy Cat forecast, folks, this week we got the Spice Girls with us. That's right, Rosemary and Basil here all week long. And if you want to see your cat featured on the forecast, send me an email at dbrazelton@krextv.com or message me on Facebook or Instagram at BrazeltonWX. Nice clear skies expected all day long. Not a whole lot of wind speeds as well. That stays in the single digits. And then it's going to be a pretty chilly start to the morning. I know my cat didn't want to get out of the covers this morning either, so we're slowly starting to warm up from there. You may want to keep that heater kicked on for a little bit longer today. But widespread across the northwest part of the country, pushing all the way into the Midwest as well, actually. We're seeing these above average temperatures. You'll notice this big ol' H just to the west of our region. That is what's keeping things nice and dry here. Over the course of the next several days, though, we're going to be seeing those mid-40s turn pretty quickly into 50-degree highs, and that's going to carry on for most of the week. Broncos seeming like they're going to be playing the Bills on Saturday, time still TBD, but it's going to be a lovely one to say the least. Montrose obviously a little bit cooler, seeing those lower 40s, overnight lows in the low 20s. We're expecting to see that warm up only by a couple of degrees.